Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTrackHere.com, and today we're going to break down the all-new Scorpion EXO-Eclipse full-face helmet. The EXO-Eclipse retails from $584.95 to $629.95. Solids to graphics as of the time we're shooting this video. Please understand we never update the video, so pricing changes only when the product itself has been completely redesigned. This is a brand new helmet from our friends at Scorpion. You can see they're starting to creep into the more premium products, which I think is nice. It's good evolution for the company. They do a great job with all their price point stuff. Why not reach a little higher and make some really affordable high-end products? And I think that's what they've done here with the EXO Eclipse. Who is this helmet right for? This helmet is designed for street riders. Okay, this is a sport riding / touring helmet. It includes a drop-down dark smoke inner shield. And that's a feature that is definitely very street-driven. If you're a street rider who's, primarily you're riding on the street, but let's say the random track day here and there, and this is your helmet, right? Could you go use this for that? 100%. Would I buy this as a track helmet? No, I wouldn't. And I just got to tell you, big fan of Scorpion. Shoot a bunch of Scorpion videos now. I've shot a bunch of Scorpion videos in the past. I've had a bunch of Scorpion helmets personally for track riding, street riding, snowmobile riding. They make great products. I'm a fanboy. There's no doubt about it. What does this helmet include? What comes with it in the box? It's going to ship with a clear shield already attached to the helmet. There is a dark smoke screen that's going to ship in this included shield protector, a Pinlock 120 fog-free insert that can be used with either the clear or the dark smoke screen. Got a nice padded helmet bag, right? Good. It's got allegedly some backpack straps, I guess, if you're going somewhere you want to put your helmet on your back. And an included chin curtain, which is, of course, removable. All that is included. Helmet fit. I measure 58 centimeters on the money per their size chart. I'm going to be in a medium. My head shape is intermediate oval, most common head form here in America. This helmet is built to that head shape. Size medium, I got a good, comfortable fit. And when I say good and comfortable, for the type of helmet this is, right, they nailed it. Even the on-off effort, right? We find that street riders that are looking for more of a touring-based helmet, they want a more reasonable on-off effort where it glides on and off a little bit easier than, say, some of the higher-end race helmets that give you a really tight captured fit. They got that done without compromising the overall fit of the helmet. Was super impressed. And then the fabrics they're using inside the helmet, the liner fabrics, man, do they feel comfortable. Like, it also helped the helmet slide on even easier and off easier. But once you got it on, it just felt so good against your skin. Felt like a true premium product. I was super impressed with that. Weight. 3.35 pounds in a size medium on our digital shipping scale. That's what happens when you use a carbon shell, right? And the certification is ECE versus Snell. Those helmets tend to be a little bit lighter weight, and when you're wearing it for long periods of time, when you compare things that would be in the same category as this, those are going to be more to 3.6, 3.7 pounds. Substantial weight savings with this helmet. Bluetooth compatibility. This will accept any of the universal units out there on the market. It's got nice speaker cutouts. We'll show you later on in the video when I pull the liner out. Any of the universal stuff. Plus, they have a new unit coming out soon, and this is a attachment point for it, for a proprietary unit. I don't really have a lot of information on that because it's not out yet. It's coming, but for people who aren't going to use that, there's a nice plug. It's like it's never there. And plus, if you're installing a universal unit, that's going to mount right over this, so you're never going to see it anyways at the end of the day. Ventilation. This ventilation scheme to me looks a lot like the one on the EXO R1 Air. It's got a large intake vent up here on the top. Large vent here, switchable on or off in the chin bar. The inside of the helmet EPS, there's some channeling, large holes for the intakes. The exhaust is managed through a diffuser here, as well as back here in the back of the helmet. That'll like serve as like a Venturi effect too, where it's gonna not only drive air in, but also help to pull air from the front to the back. It kind of exchanges the hot air, right, with the cool air that you're riding into. So how well do I feel this is going to ventilate? This is not a helmet I plan to ride in, full disclosure. Okay, this is more of a street product. We do mostly track stuff. That said, I've owned and ridden in hundreds of helmets over the years, so I feel I'm pretty qualified to benchmark performance. I think it's going to vent very well, especially for having a drop-down inner screen. When you have a drop-down inner screen, you know, you can't put the vents low here on the brow. They've got to be higher here. They've found ways to make that work. My expectation is when it's hot out, this thing's going to regulate your temperature for you. It's going to feel great. Noise production. They've also taken a lot of steps here with the way the shield seals. You got a centrally located shield lock, right? You know, pretty stealth design, clean lines. My expectation for noise production is it's reasonable. If you know you're sensitive for helmet noise, but you want a helmet that vents well, because ventilation and noise, they go hand in hand at the end of the day. Just throw a set of earplugs in. It just takes that little bit of edge off. You can still hear everything going on outside when you're riding around. You can hear the cross traffic horns, whatever other vehicles. If you're sensitive, use the earplugs. Shell construction and number. Carbon fiber shell, we already said that. If you want to go to the website and look, they've got all kinds of buzzwords. They're going to break that down a lot more. You know, if you're interested in that, go read that stuff. I'm not a big fan of using a company's buzzwords, but it's a carbon-based shell. That's why it's so lightweight. There are 3 shell sizes: extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, 2X. You can see this medium, like the external size of this helmet, it's not very big, right? So it looks good when it's on as well. Safety standards. Here in the US, this is built to both DOT as well as ECE standards. ECE 2206. Glasses compatibility. Scorpion nails it with the glasses compatibility. They slide right in once you have the glasses on, right on the bridge of your nose, no problem, right? They're super comfortable. There's no pressure being put against your temples. That could depend a little bit on maybe the frame of your glasses, but if you're riding with glasses under your helmet, you know better than to use a super thick frame. They nail it. Great job. Clark's going to show you the B-roll shot here that kind of illustrates that a little bit for you. Shield change. You know, this thing ships with the clear, ships with the dark smoke. And as far as the shield change goes and the dark smoke, you would only use the dark smoke, in my opinion, if you don't plan on using this drop-down inner that's included with this. And while we're on the drop-down inner, this is a very nice mechanism. Right here, I think they did a solid job with that. Action feels great. You know, you stack both those shields up. That's going to be super dark. You get caught in the dark, you're not going to be able to see shit. So odds are, if you're going to use the drop-down inner, you're going to leave the clear on the outside. If you're like, you know, I don't really like drop-down shields, but I like this helmet, then you can go ahead, obviously, and install your dark smoke. There's another feature that I need to cover real quick before we go too much farther. This also has the AirFit cheek pads. You can see the little bladder here that you pump on. There's bladders behind both cheek pads that really help to dial in the fit of that area. So let's say you pull it over and you're like, man, I wish it was just a little bit tighter right there. Capture me a little bit more. Not a problem. You just reach in there, pump that up. It inflates in the area. It's a great feature. There's also a release button right over here. It's a metallic button. You can feel it pretty easily. You just push on it, and it's going to go ahead and release the pressure, like so. So, shield mechanism. You know, I found this one, it definitely holds it on there. That part's great, right? Centrally located lock. Big fan of that. Class 1 optics. Nice. I like the metal trigger here. So to release it, you're going to push up on the trigger, and then you got to kind of pull forward on it, right? It's spring-loaded to help pull the shield back when it's in the down position against the gasket. So kind of pull forward, rotate off it comes. And there is also, in terms of this drop-down inner, you're able to change the amount of travel with this, right? There's a little switch right here on the base plate, and I think you can kind of see that. Is that pretty clear, Clark?
Yeah.
When it's furthest forward, you get the most amount of travel. When you slide it back, it reduces the travel. So pretty easy to use, pretty self-explanatory. Reinstallation of the shield. I found that to be maybe just a, I don't know, like the EXO R1 Air is super easy. This one I think is a little bit tougher, whatever. I like to push in the back portion like so and then kind of pull forward. Push in the back portion, pull forward. That allows those two tabs here and here to dip in. So you're starting back here, locking that in, pull forward, right, actuating the springs. You'll hear the audible click. And like I say every time, when you do a shield change, before you go out and ride, I want you to move the shield up and down a couple of times. This one does have a super smooth mechanism too. There is a detent right all the way at the top. It's held open. There's a strong detent right here at about that position, and then fully closed. So once again, to remove, actuate trigger, kind of pull forward. It's got to be in the uprightmost position. Actuate trigger, pull forward. Shield is off. Now let's have a look from the inside out. Let's go ahead and remove that chin curtain. Just grab it right here where the fabric is closest to the edge of the shell. Kind of give it a little tug. Like so. That fabric is awesome. Emergency release cheek pads. Let's say you happen to have an accident. They need to get your helmet out without disturbing your neck. EMTs can reach under there if they're aware of this feature and pull that out, and that allows them to remove the helmet without the cheek pads being in place. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to release in the normal way. There's 3 snaps. Slide your fingers in between the backing of the cheek pad and the EPS of the helmet. Release snap 1 in the front. Snap 2 is up above the ear. Snap 3 is all the way at the back. Go ahead and rotate the cheek pad and pull it out. Man, when you touch that, I know I'm just like, keep talking about the same shit here, but that just feels amazing. A little reflective piping there for some nighttime visibility. The other cheek pad removal is a mirror image of the first one. Let's go ahead and get your fingers in there. Boom, boom, boom. Out it comes. To remove the top pad, slide a finger or your thumb in between the EPS of the helmet and the backing of the top pad. There are 2 snaps on the back. Release those. To release it at the brow, go ahead and slide your finger between the EPS and the backing of the top pad. There's 3 snaps. Remove those. Let's give you a little look here. Excellent quality. Top tier stuff at what I would say a more affordable price. Okay, to remove the little covers for the speaker cutouts. You know, they've got these molded plastic covers in there. They're kind of held in pretty tight. A little hard to pop them out of your fingernail. I got a little baby screwdriver. There is your cover. It's padded on the back side. And this is molded plastic. Can you see right there?
Yep.
So that's built in. Remember, this is going to work with your proprietary one if you want to use the one that's going to mount right up using a special little thing that we haven't seen. Cool. Or, you know, if you're going to use like a Cena or a Cardo, more commonly available universal stuff, maybe you already have it, that's going to fit right in here, no problem as well. Let's try and have a look inside the channeling on the EPS, and you can see all the large holes and cutouts for the ventilation to move the air from the front to the back to help keep you cool when the temperatures rise. If you want to remove the chin straps to wash those, just a little bit of Velcro right on the inner portion here. Just pull it out like that with your index finger. It's going to slide right out. And then you can see in here is your inflatable cheek pad air bladder. Give you a look at the chin bar. This thing's finished off really, really well. Oh no, what do I think? I think if you're looking for a touring helmet that is lightweight, drop down inner screen, ventilates well, gives you that premium performance, right? Quality, but you don't want to spend $1,000, I think you should give the EXO Eclipse a very hard look. Scorpion makes some great products. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments section of this video. I answer all that stuff myself, and I'm always here to help you choose the right helmet for your next ride.